Prevention is all about stopping violence before it happens. And that's so important because if you're not spending time in your communities with folks, with students, letting them know what abuse in relationships really is, they won't really be able to look out for the warning signs and know what's going on for them and where to get help.
The goal of prevention education is to change belief systems and change behaviors through direct classroom engagement, working with whole school communities, working with our business communities, and also the community at large, because our goal isn't just to create a community free from violence, but to create a future free from violence.
Our prevention education department started out with just one coordinator doing everything all on their own. And now, over a decade later, we have a team of 4, and our outreach throughout the Portland metro area is widespread. We reach thousands of students every year.
Not all youth have the opportunity to see equitable relationships demonstrated at home. So seeing and practicing things like consent and healthy boundaries at school may be their only opportunity to do so. And Raphael House makes that possible.
Confidential advocacy is one of the support resources that we provide. Spending so much time going into the classroom, we heard from youth over and over again that they needed somebody to talk to, that they were scared to talk to the adults in their lives that they knew, and that they were experiencing dating violence and harassment and they needed help. We go in and we are stationed at some of the local high schools to be there during the school day for youth to talk to, and it is fully confidential and we are not mandatory reporters.
So confidential advocacy is taking the same degree of confidentiality and honoring survivors' choice and privacy that we do here in our advocacy center and shelter, but really bringing that out to the community so that if a youth is experiencing violence in their relationships, or even if they just have questions, they can access this resource knowing that they're healing and their support is on their terms.
Because we've built such a long-standing partnership with Portland Public Schools, this is a really special and unique resource that we've been able to offer to students that is not yet available in any other part of the state or country.
So confidential advocacy provides an opportunity to restore agency to someone who has experienced sexual or dating violence, and also give them a safe place to decide what comes next.
So my role in Raphael House as a youth education specialist working in sex trafficking, and our program focuses on dismantling the myths about sex trafficking and focusing on the real world applications of it. And so we want to make sure that students understand that sex trafficking is something that can happen to anyone, it can happen to them, and that a lot of times these relationships show up within people that we trust. And so we want to make sure that students walk away with a good understanding of how to identify when a relationship becomes exploitative and what steps they can take to try to get out of that relationship or make it more equitable in the future.
So the program has evolved beyond our immediate work in middle and high school classrooms, whether that's educating teachers on dynamics of teen dating violence, equipping ER nurses with the tools to recognize and identify domestic violence in the patients they're supporting, or even working with businesses and restaurants to identify the ways that they can create a consent culture within their office. So prevention education is more than just working with youth. It's really working with the whole community to create futures without violence.